Deliver US. Part 1. The Last House on Grinning Hill. I never wanted the job. Pizza delivery wasn't supposed to be a career, just something temporary. But 5 years later there I was, still folding receipts and dodging potholes in a rusted-out Civic with the left blinker stuck and the word "hot" fading off the side and peeling red paint. That night started like every other. Too many orders, not enough drivers, and management shouting over the phone like angry ghosts trapped in the headset. Except for one thing. The ticket. Order #666-13. No name. No phone number. Just one large grin pie. Extra red. No crust. Delivered to 1313 Grinning Hill Road. We don't have a Grinning Hill Road. At least I didn't think we did. The manager handed it to me like it was just another Friday night drop-off. "You got this one, Mikey? Where the hell is this?" I asked. He frowned, turned the ticket over. "Guess it's new development. Out near the ridge, past the cemetery. Take the old Ridgeway Trail, keep right when it forks." I stared at him. "You want me to drive through a graveyard for a pizza?" He didn't blink. "You'll get a tip." They tipped cash. Big. He didn't mention the note on the bottom of the receipt. I saw it later. Scribbled in red ink that bled through the page. "Knock once. Do not speak. Leave the box. Don't watch it open." I should have said no. I knew it the second I left the lot and hit the back roads. The town fell away behind me, streetlights fading one by one like they were being swallowed. The road narrowed to dirt, then gravel, then something soft I didn't want to identify. My GPS didn't recognize the area. The pizza sat beside me, steaming through the cardboard box. I could smell it. It wasn't pepperoni or sausage. It was sweet, metallic, too thick, like warm pennies and wet earth. I pulled over and lifted the corner of the lid. The pie wasn't like any we made. The sauce was dark, almost black. The cheese bubbled and pulsed as if breathing. And in the center, carved into the surface, was something sharp. Smiley face. Grinning Hill wasn't on the map. But I found it. The road curved up past the last gravestone and ended at a gate that had no fence. Just two iron bars rising out of the dirt like skeletal hands reaching to hold nothing. Past them, the house. Crumbling, Victorian, alive with moonlight in a way that felt wrong. Its windows were uneven, some too small, some too large. A chimney wept something dark down its bricks. Wind circled it without touching anything else. No cars. No driveway. No mailbox. Just the number, 1313, scrawled onto the front door in what looked like nail scratches. I parked far enough back that I could run if I needed to. I took the box. Walked up the crooked path. Something moved under the soil beside me. I didn't look. Didn't knock. I remembered the note. So I just placed the pizza on the stoop, turned around, and walked back down the path. But halfway to the car I heard it. The door creaking open. Slow. Hungry. And the whimper that followed. I shouldn't have looked. But I did. The door had opened just enough for me to see inside. There was no one there. Just a long hallway stretching into darkness. And the box? It was gone. In its place, something else. A folded slip of paper. Still warm. I don't remember walking back. Just the wind pushing me. The taste of iron in my mouth. And the note in my hand. Thanks for the meal, smiley face. You're next. Tomorrow. Same time. Same place. I drove back to the shop without remembering how. When I arrived, the manager was gone. So was the night crew. The lights were out. Only the neon open sign still buzzed in the window, flickering between red and a sickly green I'd never seen before. On the front door was another ticket. Taped with something that looked too thick to be glue. Another order. Same number. Same pie. Same address. And scrawled at the bottom, this time in even darker ink. Driver must be the same. I didn't sleep. The pizza scent wouldn't wash off my hands. I scrubbed until my nails cracked. When I closed my eyes, I saw the hallway again. Longer this time. Like it had grown. And something was at the end of it. Smiling. Wearing a face I almost recognized. At 2 p.m. my phone buzzed. A calendar notification. One I didn't make. Reminder, your shift starts at 5. One delivery scheduled. Don't forget the smile. I tried deleting it. It came back. Twice. Then my screen cracked. Right across my reflection. I drove back that night, too scared not to. The same order. Same road. Same gate. Same cursed path that now felt more like a tongue than a walkway. But this time, the house was closer. Bigger. Breathing heavier. The door opened before I even reached the steps. And something waited in the dark. I didn't leave the pizza this time. I carried it in. Because the note said I had to. Because my legs wouldn't stop moving. Because I had already been invited inside. Part 2. Toppings of the flesh. The smell hit me as soon as I crossed the threshold. Not rotting, fresh. Raw meat, sweet sauce, the tang of metal. I tried to breathe through my mouth, but it clung to my tongue like steam from a grave. Inside, the house was wrong. The air moved like water. The wallpaper bled from the seams. The floor moaned under my feet like it had nerves. I held the box in both hands like a sacrificial offering. My fingers trembled. My arms were cold. The hallway was longer now. At least, that's how it felt. It turned and dipped and bent, with doorways that didn't match, some too small to crawl through, others wide enough to fit a truck. Every wall was covered in smiling portraits. Each one slightly wrong. Eyes too close. Teeth too many. Each one watching me. Some of them had my face. A voice called from the end of the corridor. It wasn't spoken. It was typed. In the air. Letters appeared across the stained wallpaper, one after the other, as if being written from behind the wall. Kitchen, smiley face. I obeyed. Of course I did. The kitchen was all tile and shadows. No appliances. No food. Just an enormous wooden table stained with years of use. Hooks dangled from the ceiling. A single bulb swung overhead, casting the room into flickering, twitching light. And sitting at the table, a man. Sort of. His apron was soaked in red. His smile was stitched from ear to ear with something that glinted. He didn't speak. He just pointed at the box. I placed it on the table. He opened it. The smell punched me in the gut. Inside the box was no pizza. It was meat. Uncooked. Raw. And in the center? A human tongue. Still twitching. I stepped back. He nodded slowly and handed me a new box. Closed. Warm. Wet. Take this, he said. Delivery to 1420 Wishbone Avenue. Special customer. They're expecting it. And Mikey? He stood. 7 feet tall. Limbs too long. Smile too wide. No peeking this time. I didn't drive to 1420 Wishbone. I ran. I flung the box into a dumpster behind a gas station and peeled out like I was escaping a fire. I told myself I was done. No more runs. No more tickets. I even threw my phone in a ditch. But when I got home, the pizza box was waiting. On my bed. Still warm. Still wet. A note pinned to the top was something sharp. Mikey, Mikey, little liar. You promised to deliver. 1 slice missed equals 1 piece of you. There was something inside the envelope, heavy and sticky. I didn't want to look. I didn't need to. It was one of my teeth. I quit the next day. Walked into the store, told the new manager. I'd never seen him before, face pale as dough, hands too clean, that I was done. He nodded. Didn't argue. Just slid a manila envelope across the counter. Your last delivery, he said. You want out? This is the one that gets you there. The envelope was heavier than it should have been. Inside, a key. Rusted. Still damp. And an address. The Courier. No number. Just the mouth. Midnight. There was no pizza this time. Just me. And the box waiting in my trunk when I turned around. I hadn't brought it. But there it was. Still warm. Still smiling. The quarry was dead land. Nothing but crumbling stone and wind that sounded like breath. I found the gate, bent and half swallowed by moss. And beyond it, a cave. No lights. Just a hole in the earth that reeked of wet ash and meat. As I stepped inside, the box began to shake in my hands. A heartbeat. Not mine. Faster. Louder. And from the darkness, something whispered. Delivery on time, good boy. I left the box on the stone altar and turned to leave. But the shadows gripped my ankles. Tight. And the voice said, a tip for your service. I screamed. The pain was sudden. Hot. Like being pierced with fire and glass. When I finally crawled out into the moonlight, something was in my mouth. I spat it into my palm. A gold tooth. Not mine, but already fused to the gum. Back home, the mirror was different. My smile was wider. Too wide. I tried to stop myself from looking. But the mirror grinned back. And my reflection whispered, they like you now. You're part of the route. The next ticket appeared not in the store, but in my fridge. Wrapped in sinew. Signed in blood. 1 heart pie. Special topping. Must be delivered while still beating. I opened the box. It was already there. It was beating. And I knew exactly whose it was. Part 3. Roads that don't exist. I told myself I wouldn't take the next order. I told myself I could leave town, throw the phone in a river, burn the jacket, bleach the car. But I woke up with the delivery bag already packed, the red hot logo stitched into my chest. My car keys were in my hand. My phone was powered on. And the address? Scrawled into my arm in swollen, raised flesh. Next, mile 0, Turnskin Road. ETA before sunrise. Or your dinner. There's no Turnskin Road on any map. I searched it. Nothing. But the GPS pulled it up the moment I typed. TUR. Not with a pin. Just a single blinking red dot moving on its own, like it already knew where I was going. I drove east. Past town. Past the last radio station. The signal died somewhere near the tree line, and I didn't even try to turn back. Because the gas pedal stopped obeying me. Because the seatbelt pulled tight on its own. Because the pizza in the back seat started singing. You ever hear meat sing? It wasn't a melody. It was a hum. Deep and low, like a forgotten lullaby written in the stomachs of things too old to be named. I pulled over. Had to. The road behind me was gone, just a wall of trees where asphalt had been. And ahead? Fog. Thick as skin. I stepped out. Opened the trunk. The box was still warm. Still sealed. I didn't open it this time. I didn't want to see what it wanted me to see. But I swear I heard something inside it whispering. Not words. Just breath. Mile 0 wasn't a mile marker. It was a house. No number. No lights. Just a mailbox made of bone and a door painted with something that shimmered like oil and bled like ink. I carried the box up to the door. Didn't knock. The door opened before I could. Inside, the air bent. Bent me. My vision warped like film boiling in a projector. The hallway stretched and compressed. The walls inhaling like lungs. The customers were waiting. 3 of them. Tall. Draped in robes that weren't fabric, they shimmered, like they were sewn from shed skin and afterimages. They didn't speak. Not aloud. They vibrated. And the sound made my nose bleed. One of them stepped forward. Hands too long. Fingers wrapped in wedding rings with no gems, just tiny spinning eyes where the stones should be. It touched the box and hissed in pleasure. Opened it. Inside wasn't pizza. It was me. Or parts of me. A looping image. Me screaming. Me biting down on something soft. Me choking on teeth. They clapped. The sound was like meat slapping wet tile. Then the receipt printed. From nowhere. Just a slip of paper, floating out of the darkness. On it. Good tip this time. Next stop, beyond the veil. Deliver yourself. I didn't want to ask. But I did. What's in the next box? The tallest one leaned in. Its face was a mirror. I saw myself, grinning. Too wide. With a hand on my shoulder. One I didn't recognize. The next road didn't have a name. My car drove itself. The dashboard clock spun backwards. The sky flickered like a scratched DVD. I passed places I swear I'd only dreamed of. A gas station lit entirely by candles, each one burning cold. A man digging in the middle of the road with no shovel, just his own ribs. A sign that read, "Dead END, keep going." And all the while, the pizza in the seat beside me started speaking in voices I knew. My mom. My old coach. My first crush. They all whispered the same thing. "Almost there, Mikey. Almost there." Eventually, the car stopped. At a cul-de-sac that shouldn't exist. A circular clearing paved in teeth. In the center, a house made entirely of red pizza boxes stacked like bricks, all of them leaking. A mailbox stood in the center. On it, "Final delivery. Knock once. Wait for the laugh. Then come inside. You belong to the route now." I knocked. The door opened. No laugh. Just the sound of chewing. Inside was the manager. Not the one from the shop. The first one. Tall. Pale. Suit made of menus, buttons made from bottle caps. He didn't look up. He just gestured. To the table. And on it? My old uniform. Still warm. Still bleeding from the seams. And beside it, a name tag. Mikey, Route Keeper 27. Certified Flesh Courier. Smiles guaranteed. I put it on. Because I couldn't stop myself. Because I'd earned it. Because the road was inside me now. When I left the house, the car was gone. Didn't matter. The road walked under my feet. Each step printed a new address into my skull. Each breath summoned a new name. Each blink, a new delivery. They weren't pizzas anymore. They were pieces. Sometimes memories. Sometimes futures. Sometimes full, beating hearts packed in foil and sin. Always hot. Always smiling. And the customers? They're always home. They always answer. And they always tip in pieces of themselves. Part 4. The address that screams. There's a rule they don't write down. A rule the real couriers whisper to each other, if they're still able to whisper. When the order comes stamped in bone, don't deliver it. But I did. Because I had to. Because when the receipt slid under my eyelid as I slept, yes, under, I woke up gagging on the delivery instructions scrawled in something that twitched. It read, "Order number 999 void. One final pie. Customer, the first smile. Address inwards." And below that, in scratchy ink that looked like it bled to write itself. Deliver hot. Deliver yourself. No returns. I tried to run. I packed my things. But the bags screamed when I zipped them. The roads outside my apartment no longer connected to anything familiar. The sun hadn't risen in 3 days. The pizza sign on top of my Civic burned without electricity, dripping molten cheese light onto the roof like wax. When I opened the trunk, the box was already there. Still warm. Still smiling. But the receipt? It was printed into my skin. Burned into my chest with every beat of my heart. Delivered to the core. Do not knock. It hears. I followed the road inward. Not metaphorically. Literally. I drove until the world blurred. Until the street signs lost language. Until my reflection in the rearview turned away from me and whispered, asterisk. Don't look ahead. Asterisk. But I did. And the sky blinked. The clouds opened. And the road peeled back like skin to reveal something pulsing beneath. A place not made of matter, but memory. They call it the core. The first customer. The place where the route began. Where the first pizza was baked with names instead of toppings, and cut into 8 slices of existence. I didn't walk there. The road crawled into me. Each step forward carved out a memory. My first kiss, the smell of my dad's garage, the taste of rainwater on my childhood porch, each memory flaking away like old cheese. Until I wasn't Mikey the driver anymore. Just a courier shaped like grief. The address appeared in the air as I neared the destination. It floated in red, like digital rot. House number 0. Between the moments. On the corner of silence and scream, the building stood before me. A tower of mouths, stacked floor to floor, each window a gaping jaw lined with boxes of past deliveries. They chanted in a language I understood and wish I didn't. Feed the first. Bring the crust of self. One last slice, cut from soul. I entered without knocking. The air inside bent around my body like a scream underwater. No light. Only temperature. Scalding memories bubbled on the walls like sauce simmering too long. And at the top of the stairs, where gravity pulsed and reality folded, the first smile waited. It wasn't a person. It wasn't a thing. It was an opening. A crack in the world shaped like a grin that had never learned to end. Rows of teeth spun like pizza cutters. Tongues licked the roof of a mouth wide enough to house cities. And at the center of that mouth, a chair, set for one, with a note. For our favorite courier. Sit. Slice. Serve. I sat. Of course I sat. The box opened itself. Inside, my hands, still twitching, still gripping the steering wheel from earlier, still warm, and yet mine remained attached to my wrists. For now, the first smile leaned closer. The air shook, the world dimmed, and it whispered, "Good driver, good warmth. Now serve." It opened wider, and something stepped out. A version of me, but hollowed. Uniform soaked. Name tag melted. Eyes spinning like delivery timers. And it smiled with no lips. It took the box from my hands. Whispered asterisk. "You've done enough. Time to eat." Asterisk. Then bit into the pizza. And screamed. Not in pain. In joy. In worship. The first smile consumed us both then. One in memory. One in flesh. And when I woke, I was back in my car. Only the mirrors didn't work. The radio hissed with feedback that sounded like orders. My reflection blinked too slowly. And the first delivery had already been printed. Next route. Customer #0 a rewrite. Address wherever someone hungers. Now, I drive. I never stop. Each stop more impossible than the last. I bring boxes that open themselves. I knock on doors that scream when touched. I smile. Even when I'm not behind the wheel. Even when the route is silent. Because smiling keeps the sauce from boiling over. Because smiling is the only thing they can't eat. I know where the last delivery is. I've seen it in my dreams. It has your name on it. Already printed. Already boxed. Already warm. And I'm on my way. Part 5, Free Delivery, No Survivors. The final box never leaves the car. It stays warm. Always. Even when the engine dies, when the road ends, when time folds in on itself and everything stills, the box radiates that same sick heat. That same greasy hum. The cheese inside whispers names now. Not just mine. Yours. And every address it speaks? It's real. Every time someone reads this, the box updates. The route extends. The delivery queue resets. It started again at midnight. I didn't know where I was. The GPS had long since stopped pretending. The screen just showed an open mouth. And in the middle, a blinking red dot. ETA now. The order slip sat on the passenger seat, printed in a script I can't describe. It looked like veins on paper. It pulsed. Order number 0 finale. 1 soul-stuffed deep dish. Extra you. Address. The place where you think you're safe. I didn't drive this time. The wheels turned by themselves. The headlights didn't show a road, just teeth. Rows and rows of teeth gnashing in silence. The car bouncing along a path paved with old deliveries and forgotten couriers. In the rear view, I saw them behind me. Other drivers. Other Mickeys. All hollow-eyed. All still smiling. Some with no mouths at all. And then, the car stopped. In front of your place. Don't lie. You recognize this part. That sound outside? That's my door closing. That shape in the corner of your screen? Reflection. Just a little early. I know. I'm good at that. The box is in my hands now. It's heavier than it should be. It twitches. I knock once. Only once. I don't wait for an answer. I know the door is unlocked. It always is when the order's right. Inside? Dark. Familiar. I've never been here, but I know the layout. The hallway curves the same as the house on Grinning Hill. The light switch doesn't work. It never does on the last delivery. I set the box down on the nearest surface. Still warm. Still smiling. Still pulsing like it's alive. Because it is. And inside is everything you've never told anyone. Your first shame. Your last sin. Your truest face. The lid opens itself. I look away. You should too. Because the thing inside needs a witness. Not to exist. To continue. I leave quietly. No need for thanks. You already tipped. When you read the receipt. When your heartbeat synced with the cursor. When your eyes widened 3 stories ago. That was enough. That was everything. Back in the car, the dashboard reads. Order delivered. 5-star rating achieved. And beneath it. Next order, already being written. Customer unknown. ETA 3:13 a.m. Sometimes I wonder what the world was like before the route. Before we let them in through the door labeled delivery, grinning and hungry and red with heat. But I never wonder long. The smell fills the car. The receipt buzzes in my chest. And the wheels turn. Again. You'll feel it soon. The knock. The heat from the box. The weight of your name typed into something far older than an order form. And when you answer, don't try to run. We're always early. And we never forget a house. And if you hear footsteps outside your door tonight, and you didn't order pizza, open anyway. We already know you're hungry.